It's Saturday, April 20th, 2024, and it's day 10 of my Great American Motorcycle Adventure. Welcome back to the ride. If you love roads that follow endless turns along rivers and creeks, Southeastern Kentucky will not disappoint. It's an East Coaster's dream, one curve after another, surrounded by views of forested mountains. Flowing turns on the way up to a scenic overlook, and then flowing turns on the way down again. Definitely a place to ride when the fall colors are at their peak. I started out traveling about 8 miles north on 25E under partly cloudy skies until I made a right turn onto 119, which began to trace along the Cumberland River. While the Cumberland is a major waterway that has shaped Kentucky and Tennessee, at this point, near its source in the Appalachian Mountains, it's little more than a stream. It's hard to imagine this narrow waterway turning into the mighty river that feeds the Ohio. The clouds burned off and the sun came out as I continued along 987, riding the Martins Fork section of the river. The road twisted through small communities like East Pineville, Miracle, and Martins Fork, before heading north along Martins Fork Lake towards Harlan, a town with deep roots in Kentucky's coal mining past. Once a booming coal hub, Martin was known as Bloody Harlan due to the intense labor disputes in the 1930s. Today, the area caters to tourism and outdoor recreation, and I turned onto Route 421, which is an absolute blast to ride. Just north of Harlan and Baxter, 421 makes a sharp left and climbs steeply into the mountains. It was a twisty ride up, followed by an equally steep and twisty ride down. For the next hour, I enjoyed banked curves, tree-covered hills, exposed rock formations, and sweeping valley views. course, no ride is perfect, and today had a little detour that I wouldn't recommend. Unless you have a dual sport or an adventure bike, you probably want to avoid Edwards Cemetery Road, also known as Ponder Branch Pigeon Roost Bridge Road. This stretch is several miles of dirt, loose gravel, and deep ruts. It's one of those roads that looked fine at first, but quickly turned into a slow, careful ride. While it was passable, I wouldn't call it fun. I lowered the volume here so you wouldn't have to put up with the crackling road and wind noise that got picked up by my camera along this section. It took me about 15 minutes to get through, and I was relieved to be back on pavement. After getting back on solid ground, I picked up Route 399 in Vincent, connecting to 587 and then 1209 in Old Orchard, a route that followed the gentle curves of Station Camp Creek. This is classic Kentucky backroad riding, where the road meanders alongside the water, cutting through wooded hollows and open farmland. took Route 213 from Irving to Stanton, where I picked up the mountain parkway into Lexington. The parkway itself was more of a practical highway stretch to get me toward my hotel and dinner, but it was a nice transition back into the city after a full day of winding roads. Once I got into Lexington, I grabbed dinner at Outback Steakhouse. Sitting at the bar is a great way to meet locals, and tonight I ended up chatting with Mark and Dottie, a couple who also ride. We talked about bikes, kayaking, the recent eclipse, and a bunch of other random stuff. It was great to meet you folks. I stayed 2 nights at the hotel, mostly to catch up on blogging and do some laundry. Nothing glamorous, but since you can't fit a ton of clothes in saddlebags. On my second night, I had just ate at the hotel restaurant, where I met Amy, who was working the bar, and Chef Scott, who was running the kitchen. Amy told me about Old Friends Equine, a retirement home for thoroughbred racehorses just outside of Lexington. Old Friends is a sanctuary where former racehorses get to live out their days in comfort, and visitors can come see them up close. Southeastern Kentucky has some beautiful riding, and today was one of the prettiest days I had east of the Mississippi. As always, drop a comment below. Let me know your favorite places to ride in the area because I will be back. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow along as I keep making my way across this amazing continent. Thanks for watching.